Hello everybody, here we are today and we're going to be talking about the San Jose Sharks' bad start to the season and just going to talk about that for a bit. So before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So San Jose, as of right now, is the only winless team in the NHL at time of recording. They are 0-5-1. They are currently playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. It is the end of the first. They are down 3-0, so you're probably looking at them losing another game there. Things are looking really bad for them. They have scored just one goal in 4 or 5 of their games. Obviously, they haven't been able to pick up a W. And I know some Sharks fans will say, yeah, we were expected to be bad this year, but there's some other teams that could be in the mix for the worst team this season. Chicago will be a team that people will throw out there. And I will say, Chicago will be a team that, isn't great this year. But their schedule through their first 7 games has been rough. They have 2 wins in that time, though. They've played Boston twice. They've had to play Colorado. They have had to play Pittsburgh, they've had to play Vegas, and they've still been able to come out with a victory, something that San Jose hasn't been able to do to start off the year. And I know Sharks fans will say, hey, guess what? Our schedule hasn't been easy either. Yeah, you guys have had some hard games as well, no doubt about that. But their next 4 games aren't exactly easy games either. They have the Canucks, they have the Penguins, they have the Capitals, they have the Hurricanes. Flip that order because that's what they play. Hurricanes, Caps, Canucks, and then Penguins, I think. But those are 4 games that aren't exactly guaranteed wins, and for the Sharks right now, wins aren't really guaranteed. After that, they do play Philadelphia. They lost to them earlier in the year, 2-0. That might be their best shot at getting a win if they're unable to get a win in their next 4 games. And we're at a spot right now where the Sharks are in unfamiliar territory for a lot of fans that are my age or younger. San Jose has been a really good team for a long while now, and when I was a kid and I was a teenager, the Sharks were going to be a team that was probably going to make the playoffs. They were probably going to, maybe even win their division, maybe win the President's Trophy, maybe make it to the second round, to the conference final, to the Stanley Cup final, and had some things going a little bit differently. Maybe they go on to win the Stanley Cup final. They ultimately made it just one time, but now we're in a spot where they are certainly not a favorite to play in the Stanley Cup final. Instead, this feels a little bit more like those teams from the early 90s into the middle part of the 90s where bottom place finishes in the division were a norm and they were expected to be a bad team. Mike Grier has a inevitable task of trying to make the vision stick and not give up on the plan. Grier is probably aware of the fact this team had a lot of cap constraints and had some older guys that they needed to get off their books, as my dog is going to be jumping up here, so hopefully he doesn't hit the camera. Lay down, buddy. But anyway, yeah, so he has a task that is not fun. I said when Grier got hired, I wouldn't personally want the Sharks job, but maybe he just wanted to get into the GM position because it was the only one available at the time that he felt like he had a good chance to get. I really couldn't tell you. Either way, this plan, this vision for the Sharks has to be long-term because looking at the Pacific right now, just the Pacific alone, you've got Vegas. They just won the Stanley Cup. They are looking to keep things rolling. You have the Kings that just went out there and traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois and gave him a nice extension. They have a lot of guys. They got through their rebuild, if you will, and they want to go out there and compete for another Stanley Cup. You have the Flames, obviously, that have gone out and they spent a lot of money recently in getting Kadri and getting Huberdeau. They want to go out there and they want to be able to be a playoff team if they're able to. They have teams like Vancouver in the Pacific where you really don't know where they're going to end up, but they do have some guys like Hughes that is younger that they probably want to keep around, and they like to satisfy Elias Pettersson as his contract has been kind of a talking point as of late. The point kind of just remains out there that with the way this division alone is set up right now, the Sharks are not going to be in a situation where they can compete for the playoffs anytime soon. So Mike Grier has to be able to have the job security to make this vision happen. He has to let management know, which I'm sure he's probably already told them, hey, dark days are looming for this club, but there are some sunlight beams breaking through in the terms of the long-term future. They are going to be a team that very well could be the worst team in the league this year, but that means that they're going to have really good chances at having a good lottery shot at getting the first overall pick. Even if they don't get a first overall pick, they're going to get a top 4 pick. And with the Sharks, they have some young guys that are really interesting to see right now. And at the same time, you know that they're going to be getting a lot of high-end picks in the coming years, as they probably are going to be a bottom feeder, no pun intended, with them being the Sharks. And it just kind of remains to be seen, how low do they want to go. This is like that game. I can't remember it now because, of course, I am forgetting the game where you have the stick and you go under it and you see how low you can go. That's kind of where the Sharks are right now, because guess what? You go under that stick and you're low enough, you go out and you win. I guess metaphorically, if you want to call it that, that is where the Sharks are. They need to be at the bottom of the Pacific. And we're not talking the ocean, we're talking the division here, as they look to do a very hard rebuild, shed cap, get younger players, develop those younger players, and hopefully at that point, teams like Vegas, teams like Calgary aren't really good, and you can go out there and you can go and win your division again, or, you know, maybe even get bold and win the President's Trophy. Couldn't tell you right now, but I do know that the Sharks are a bad team right now, and they're going to be a bad team for a while. Sharks fans, let me know, what are your thoughts on this team? When will they pick up their first win? When will they get back to being in the playoffs? When will they win a playoff series? And when will they win Lord Stanley for the first time? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you can love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.